It's your weekly Blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Good morning, everyone. This is Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching with your weekly Blitz. Hey, thanks for tuning in to episode number 17, Thermostat or Thermometer. It's wonderful having you today. Before we get started, though, how you doing? Any questions and the show topics, then feel free to reach out to me at chris@autofixsos.com. I'd love to hear from everybody. Having said all that, it's a beautiful day in the auto repair industry. Let's get started. So quite some time ago, I read an article by a lady named Tara Marie Carr. She's not in the industry. In it, she talked about relationships, personal relationships with spouses and things like that, and how important it is to be a thermostat and not a thermometer in those relationships. Since then, I've been thinking a lot about how does that equate to our business situations. And honestly, I've thought back in my past, and I was kind of astonished at how many thermometers I've worked with or been in contact with, right? So first, I need to talk about what a thermostat is and does and what a thermometer does, right? So a thermometer moves up and down with the surrounding environment. It reacts to changes around it as they're happening, right? So it's a great recorder of the temperature, but as far as running a business goes, it doesn't really help us accomplish much. A thermostat, on the other hand, sits in a constant state and makes the environment around it change to meet its needs at the time. I want you to think about that for just a second. So think of yourself sitting at the controls of your business, adjusting the business to your needs and not flailing wildly responding to your business. Okay? Now, sometimes the thermostat can be moved up or down if need be, but not without an overriding force from outside, which is you. You're the overriding force. I used to work for a manager that placed an empty bucket just outside the door to the shop area. And when things got stressful, which for him was about every, 2-3 hours, it seems like, he'd come out the door, like kick it open, and then kick the bucket across the shop until it hit the wall. And he pulls out his pack of cigarettes, he lights one up, goes to the back of the building, just glares at everybody, doesn't say a word to anybody. And when he was done, he'd just walk away. So he thought that's how he managed the shop, by kicking the bucket and doing that into the wall, reacting to his environment instead of controlling his environment, that he was a great leader. And he would come back and laugh and be like, oh, I just showed those guys who was boss. But what he did is he just left everyone so stressed out about what was going on that the people wouldn't even speak to each other for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Everybody just like ducked their head and kind of did what they were doing and hid. So it's an extreme example, but it's true. That was his way of responding to stress. And supposedly that was his perfect way of motivating the crew. So have you ever worked with or somebody that as time got more stressful, they started stalking and screaming at everyone and accomplishing nothing? If that's the case, then you worked with a thermometer, okay? On the other hand, if you've ever worked with someone that was cool as a cucumber, like they say on ESPN, cool as the other side of the pillow, as the workload around them increased and things got more stressful, then, in doing that, typically they're able to reduce the stress level of those working around them, being able to calm the entire group. If that's the case, then you worked with a thermostat. Okay. And I want you to think about being a thermostat. I also want you to stop and think about what percentage of the time you are the thermostat and what percentage of the time you are a thermometer. I would love to say that all of us are thermostats all the time, but that's typically not the case. Myself in the beginning, if a customer had a bad experience and called me or left a message, typically I was the guy kicking the bucket, screaming at everybody, being like, what did you guys do? Which is not the right thing to do, right? You got to stop, figure out the full story, and then figure out the action plan. So early on in my career, I'm sad to say I was the thermometer, not the thermostat. Hopefully now, and hopefully you guys see it every week, that I'm the thermostat you guys need me to be. So it's extremely important as you mentor, lead, and manage others around you that you become the thermostat as the guiding force of the group. Now, I want you to sit back and answer this question honestly. Are you currently being a thermometer? If so, why? What can you do today that can change the way you affect your environment and how you lead others by being the thermostat they need you to be? Okay? Our time here has come to an end, my friends, but don't worry because I'll be back with another episode of the Weekly Blitz next week. If you enjoyed the episode and you know of someone in the industry that would be open to listening and interested in learning more, then go ahead and feel free to share it with them. Until next time, this is Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching. Have a great day, everybody.